Hi, I'm Lee Kenny from NaturalCures.com. Thank you so much for joining us here today. It's a segment I've been wanting to do probably for more than a year now, and it's around the area of supplementation and specifically, what do the doctors take? And I'm really, really thrilled to be joined today by my good friend and NaturalCures.com's good friend, Dr. Ted Morter of Morter.com. Good morning, Ted.
Good morning, Lee. Thank you for having me, and I'm happy to be here and share information with this wonderful group that I've supported for many, many, many years. So thanks for having me on.
Excellent. Well, Dr. Teddy's been really gracious because he just talked for about 10 minutes, giving some really great information. And I forgot to press the record key. So, and he was so gracious, and I'm very, very thankful we got a bit of extra time with you.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
So today, a lot of our audience, they may be new to supplementation, or they've maybe even been around it and are a little blind to why certain people take certain things. And yes, I know that sometimes there's a perception in our industry, in the supplement and vitamin industry, that sometimes people say one thing and do another. So really, this title of this segment is, what do the doctors take? So again, very, very grateful for you to be joining us today to talk about supplementation.
You know, Lee, it's a good question, because you hear that supplements don't do any good. You shouldn't take supplements. It doesn't matter about supplements. It's a ripoff. And I know that for fact to be not true. I have studied this for 40, 50 years in our supplement line that we have. And I've been involved in supplementation lines even longer than that, before we decided to make our own line of supplements. So I really, you asked me the question, what do doctors take and what do doctors do? And I think that begs even a bigger question, is that, are the doctors really doing what they say they're doing or not? And it spans the globe, the whole gamut of things other than just supplementation, but medications and all the other things that go along with modern, quote, modern medicine. So what do the doctors really do? I think what you're asking me is, from a natural standpoint, what do doctors do? Because that's where my specialty is. My specialty is not in which drug you take for which particular condition and how to diagnose this and what about this and that vaccine. That's not where I'm coming from at this point. My job as a practicing physician is to help people bring their immune system up, to keep their bodies healthy, and so that we can enjoy our lives and be happy and successful, and not be subjected to the myriad of all the diseases that come down the pike from chronic degenerative disease. So when you ask me the question, what do doctors do? I'm just going to go back to basics and say, what I recommend is that we think clearly, and don't be thinking that some magic pill somewhere is going to make me whole. It's going to make me well, because that's simply not true. There are people respond completely differently to different supplements and different types of products that are natural. And to decide what is going to be exactly best for me, we have to look at basics. What does the cell need? We were talking earlier, Lee, about trace minerals, for example. You said, I've taken these minerals for years and I don't really understand everything about them. Well, most people don't. But let me just talk about some general things. Our food supply comes directly from our soil. Our soil is depleted from the minerals because it's been abused for centuries of cropping without replenishing the soil itself. So when you start off with the soil being depleted of natural minerals that are there, the trace minerals that are there, then it's impossible to grow a green bean that's going to have the nutritional value in it in today's date versus 40, 50, 60 years ago. They are completely different. If you're to analyze the two from back in the 40s or 50s, a green bean, and now, they're completely different in the amount of sodium, calcium, potassium that's available there for you to benefit from. So when we talk about supplements and what do doctors do, I can only talk about what I do and what I've professed, and all the doctors that I've trained. We've trained thousands and thousands of doctors worldwide in our ideals about alkalinity and about the minerals that are in the foods and why our bodies need this. So what we were talking about, Lee, is what about these trace minerals? Trace minerals, there's some over 70 minerals that are from a plant base that are millions of years old, that are depleted in our soil now. We've been able to mine these minerals and put them into a colloidal suspension that we can take as a supplement. So if you can't get it from the soil, you got to get it from another source. You can't get it from the soil. You can't get it in the food because the food grows from the soil. So therefore, we have to be able to replenish that in our bodies so that our bodies will work as they were designed. You have to have these trace minerals for your cellular function,
Yeah.
period. And if you can't get them from the food because it's not in the soil, you have to take a supplementation to get it into the system. It's my opinion, and this is what we've been talking about for over 40 years.
Yeah, and something we agree. You'll know with Natural Cures, our four pillars of sickness, if you like, or the absence of wellness. One of those is that nutritional deficiency. So I think that's absolutely vital as a component.
There's no going back from the idea that we must have these minerals for our cells to function, period.
Yeah.
There are two types of minerals that we talk about. There are alkaline minerals, which come from the fruits and the vegetables, and that through the miracle of photosynthesis. The sun comes in, it creates chlorophyll, and that's also with the sun and being able to metabolize, the plant's able to metabolize the minerals from the soil through photosynthesis. Is able to produce glucose,
Mm-hmm.
which makes the vegetables and the fruits that we eat sweet. So if you're not eating a vegetable that tastes sweet, even a bell pepper or a carrot or celery, if it doesn't taste sweet, there's no glucose there, which means the photosynthesis didn't take place like it should have because the minerals weren't there, or the water wasn't there, or the sun wasn't there. And therefore, the food is not very good for you. It doesn't do much good. So you have to supplement that.
Yeah.
And that's what we do with barley grass. We do it with trace minerals to help get our alkaline reserve up so that we can build our resistance, build our immunity, and fight off whatever infection comes our way, whether it's a bacteria or a virus or all the things that are in the news now. All you have to do is keep your immune system high. In fact, that's all you can do. Yeah. Because there's no magic cure from a pill that you're going to be able to take or a vaccine you're going to be able to take that's going to fix this problem. No, you have to fix it from the inside out. You can't fix it from the outside in. So inside out means healthy cellular nutrition, alkaline minerals and trace minerals. That's the key, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. So for people kind of around the world, then what's the next go-to supplement in your cabinet, in your cupboard? Then what else are you taking alongside those on a maybe a daily basis?
Well, for sure, I would start off with trace minerals. A dropper full of trace minerals. You can put that into a juice or water and drink it right down. I like Alkaline or a barley green, barley grass, anything that's a barley component. That's the most potent alkalizer we've been able to identify to get into our body, full of chlorophyll and naturally organically produced. So no herbicides, pesticides, period. And that's the way to start your day off on the right foot. You can get a good start with a good nutritional breakfast. I mean, with a smoothie, if the things that you're putting in the smoothie are good and complete, then you'll get what you need. But if not, then these are the supplements that I would start with. I would start, the products that I have are trace minerals and Alkaline. And Alkaline comes in a tablet form. It's easy to take, or in a powder form. You can put it in a smoothie. Yeah. And why would I do that? Because that's where the alkaline minerals are, Lee. That's where they come from. They don't come from anywhere else other than the plants. And the things that we eat that take away the minerals from our system are the meats and the grains. So if you're a heavy meat eater and you're eating, or even a vegetarian, we're eating too much grain and not enough vegetable, now you're going to throw the system out of balance, and you don't have enough minerals there to maintain healthy, happy a lifestyle. And what happens is we have chronic degenerative disease begins to set in. The arthritis, the diabetes, the heart disease. These things happen because they're all related back to diet.
Yeah. And if somebody's brand new to this whole alkaline, maybe commentary, who maybe doesn't understand why that's important, can you give a relatively layman's, just 40, 50 years experience in, a minute or two?
In a minute, yeah,
on the
just
spot.
boil it down to a minute. It was an overnight success. Okay, so here's how this works. Your body needs sodium, calcium, potassium, these alkaline minerals that are in the foods that we eat. It needs that for the cells to function. The cells, and this is what we live and die at the cellular level. So when your cells are unhealthy, they're plugged up, they're backed up because of toxicity. You don't feel good. You won't be at your top of your game. Your immunity will go down. You'll be lethargic. You'll be tired. You won't have the stamina that you used to have. All the things begin to happen. The vision goes. Many things start to happen that are not necessarily good. So the way that we counteract that is we have to have a super adequate amount of minerals in our diet. And so we're talking about maybe 80% fruits and vegetables, 20% meats and grains, the old 80-20 rule. And that's, most people don't do that. And I find myself now, we've been at home for some time now. I'm at home and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going through the vegetables, I'm going through what I've got, I'm going through my freezer, and now I've got a lot of meat in here. So now I'm going to start to go and I'm going to eat more meat than I normally do. And I notice that my joints feels more stiff and sore in the morning. I don't jump out of bed as quickly as I used to. So
Yes.
I've got to up my intake of minerals, because there's no minerals that we need in the meats and in the grains.
Yeah.
The minerals are in the fruits and the vegetables. So that's why supplementation is important. If you're noticing stiffness in your joints and you're not having the energy and the stamina that you had, you're probably deficient in minerals. We can do simple pH testing to test the urine and the saliva to get a clue of what's going on. Maybe that's be another topic. We could spend some time
Yeah.
talking about that. I think it would be interesting for your viewers to learn more about this, how to take charge of your program, take charge of your body, take charge of the testing that you're doing,
Yeah.
take charge of being responsible to steward this body, to be responsible for what's happening here, and take it on down the road so that you can live another 20, 30, 40, 50 years and feel good while you're at it, instead of just dieseling along.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
that help?
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. I think, again, sometimes we can assume that everybody's got a PhD in this type of stuff, because they've been around it, or they've maybe read the book, or they've been on YouTube. But I think sometimes you just, as you say, we have to take it just back to basics, because we've got
Yeah.
a lot of people are discovering this for the first time. People who
No,
maybe have had the
I agree.
blinkers taken off.
I agree, Lee. When we talk about back to basics, this is simple things that your parents, maybe your grandparents for sure, used to do that we don't do anymore.
Mm.
How many grandparents do you talk to now that regularly take a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar each
Yeah.
day? Okay, how many, and how long do they live? They live a long time and they feel really good. But there's alkaline minerals in that vinegar.
Mm.
Okay, it's an acid when it goes in your body, but it's easy to digest and turns very alkaline. A lemon is acid when you put it in your mouth, but it's easy to digest, turns very alkaline. A soda cracker is alkaline when you put it in your mouth, but it turns to acid in your body, and that depletes the minerals from our system. That's how this acid alkaline balance works. And when people say it doesn't matter what you eat, it has nothing to do with anything, how you're gonna, I'm appalled. I'm like, well, you're kidding me, right?
Mm.
This is what we put in is what we get back. And it doesn't matter about your diet. I just disagree with that. I think that doesn't make common sense to me. It's not logical. Things that have been around for hundreds of years make a lot of sense to me. And we don't just throw out all the old stuff when something new comes along. We have to respect and we have to learn where we've come from. We have to honor our system and what we put into it. So good quality, organic things. And just because it's organic, here's another misnomer that people have. They think just because it's organic, it's going to be really complete and good for you. No, it just means it doesn't have the chemicals dumped on top of it, but it still is grown in a depleted soil. There's no minerals in the soil. It won't be sweet. The vegetable will be bitter. So it's not grown properly. Even though it doesn't have the chemicals on it, it doesn't have the minerals in there that we need. And that's what we're looking for. So you can get that. And just the rule of thumb is it sweet? If you buy some organic carrots and make carrot juice, which I love to do, and I love carrot juice and green juice, and when you taste that, if it's bitter, just throw it out. You might as well put it on your garden, recycle it, and try it again. Try it the next time around and see if we can get some better quality coming out of it. So just because it says organic or non-GMO doesn't mean it's necessarily high quality. We have to have good quality of food. And I'm thinking more and more people are understanding this, and they're on that path to say, what can I do to help myself and help my family stay healthy and eat a good diet and eat a balanced diet. Well, now in this time when all the restaurants are not open right now, but the fast food places are open, everybody's just going to fast food, which is not going to solve any of the problems to help you get healthy and fight off any bacteria or virus or anything that comes along. That just doesn't make any sense to me at all. But that's where we're headed right now. And people are under more stress. When you're under stress and you're isolated and you can't get out and work in the community, and you can't work with your people and touch people and shake hands and give them a hug and be part of a community, when you can't do that, when you're forced to not do that anymore, it creates more stress in our bodies. And when this happens, our cortisol levels go up, the inflammation goes up, which is the opposite from what I'm talking about with the minerals. The minerals bring the inflammation down. So your diet can help bring it down. Your stress and your worry can help take it back up. So these are, when you isolate someone, right off the bat, it puts them into a stressful mode, which is going to cause an increased cortisone produced in the body, which causes inflammation, which you need more minerals to fight that. You need more minerals to be able to balance this out so that you can be healthy and happy and resistant to any virus or bacteria, anything that comes along. There's nothing, it's not magically something that's going to kill mankind. No, it's just another virus or bacteria or something that our bodies are designed to fight off. When you keep the engine running clean, you change the filter periodically, and you keep the fluids in it and put the minerals in there, metaphorically, it'll work. It's been working for a long time. It will continue to work.
Good. No, thank you for that. For those people watching this in 2030, the reason all the restaurants are closed, by the way, is we're going through a virus at the moment called coronavirus. Hopefully it'll be consigned to the annals of history when you're watching this down the line. Obviously, if you're watching this when we record it in the month, you'll know exactly what we mean. So final point, really, Dr. Ted, and thank you for that, would be, we've got a lot of people around the world, people in Africa, people in Asia, right through Europe, some poor countries, some not. If somebody's never taken any vitamins before, they've never taken any supplementation, and they're going to start with one, maybe they're going to pick a multivitamin or a multivitamin, as we say in the UK. Good idea, bad idea?
Sure, it's fine to do that. There are many types of multivitamins. Some are good, some are not so good. Look at the ingredients, see if there's starch and sugars and fillers and maltodextrin and anything in there that is not going to give you what you need. And try it for a month and see if you're feeling a difference in there. And the quality there is a difference in quality, and you're going to get what you pay for. If you're going to buy something at the big box store that's $13 for a bottle bigger than a gallon jug, it's probably not going to be that good for you. Maybe maybe not going to benefit as much as you could from that.
Yeah.
If you're taking a vitamin and you're, just for example, when you're using the restroom, on the toilet, if you notice there's a pill in there, when you're done, it just came through your body, it didn't digest at all, and that happens oftentimes. So I've had patients over the years tell me that this is what they're doing and this is what happens. Their body's not absorbing that. Here's the deal, Lee. We didn't talk about this. We could talk for days if you want, but here's the deal. Just because you put something in your mouth doesn't mean it gets in your body. Picture from your mouth to the rectum, the anus, as just a tube. It's a big long tube. And when you put it in here, it drops out the other end, and sometimes it's changed shape and form and color, we hope, and that means your body digested it and you took it across the membranes, it got in the bloodstream, and it's working like it was designed, and the waste products are coming back into the colon and they're being eliminated through the bowels. That's all the way it's supposed to work. But just because you put it in here doesn't mean it's going to get in your system. So even if you took a good high quality vitamin, multivitamin, I've got one called Super V, if you took that one, but if you can't get digested and cross the membrane in the intestine to get into your system, it doesn't do you any good. That's when colon cleanses come along, and we do acidophilus and we do Alkaline, we do things to clean the system out gradually. It has to happen slowly. I don't recommend anybody makes a change in their diet or their regime of supplementation drastically. Just take a little bit at a time. Just start off, because I've had patients over the years say, Ted, Dr. Ted, I stopped today. Today's the day. Today's the day. I gave up meat. I'm stopping smoking my cigarettes, and I've given up coffee. And I'm like, well, you're going to be really sick tomorrow. So I think you might add some of those back in there, and we'll hit this a little bit more slowly. And so I recommend you do things slowly. I recommend you try something and see how you feel. And then after a week, try a little bit more and see how that goes for this. So a good multivitamin is good. Maybe a colon cleanse would be good to start with. And then a fast. Intermittent fasting is a great thing. Fast for a day. Fast for half a day. If you get a headache, you really need to do this. That's just the way it works. It's your body telling you, oh, I need the stimulation from the food. No, it needs the minerals from the food. So there.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And everybody watching this, we will have just below the videos, we'll have links to various articles and obviously the products. There's a lot to talk about. I know I said, you still got 2 more minutes for me?
Sure.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
We were talking about the vitamin C. Is it the chewable supplements? I know that's been a real hot topic, recently. Just your
It
thoughts
has
on
been.
that, please.
It has been, and the research is showing that it's a great question, Lee. And there are different ways to get vitamin C into the system. I have a rapid detox clinic in Southern Illinois here in the States that we do opioid detox and alcohol,
Mhm.
as well as prescription medications. And what we found is high doses of vitamin C are very, very helpful in the initial phases of getting someone off from these harmful, medications and or alcohol. So vitamin C is a key role in what we do up there. It can be done with an IV drip. It can be taken orally. The product that I've used and that we've, been inundated with requests to get lately because of this whole thing with Corona is vitamin C. What do we have? And the one that I recommend is called Chew Sea Berry, and it's used. We can use it two ways. We can use it for our pH testing, and we can use it for a good source of vitamin C. It's a chewable. It's got monk fruit in it. It's a it's a wonderful product that it's well, I should say it's naturally sweetened. There's nothing artificial in there
Yeah.
that's gonna cause a problem. And people are, they love it. And it's called Chew Sea Berry. If you can't get hold of that, just take a good high quality vitamin C and add that to your regime every single day. And that will help you build your resistance and keep things on the right track.
Amazing. If people want to find out more about what you do, what's the best website for people to go to?
Well, they can visit our site at Morter, www.morter, morter.com. And it's all there under products and supplements. And they can kind of sift through there and see what feels right, what seems good to them.
Perfect. And guys, while you're waiting, I remember, gosh, it might have been 99, getting a book by your late father, which really talked about everything from food, drink, thought, sleep, the whole regime. I can't recommend it highly enough because I think it's still valid. It's an evergreen message that we're in an era of fads and Netflix and TikToks and all this sort of thing. There's some stuff that stands the test of time. And I think, that book there is probably a really great starting point for those that maybe want to empower themselves as well.
I agree, 100%.
Perfect.
The more you learn, the more you're informed you are, the better decisions you can make. You use discernment and you'll be able to decide what makes sense to me. Are all the things that I'm hearing and reading about at this time, does it make sense or not? If it doesn't make sense, don't do it. It's pretty simple, pretty simple.
Perfect. Dr. Ted, thank you very much. That's Dr. Ted from Morter.com. Please go check them out. There's links below the video. This is going to be the first in a range of hopefully shorter, more interesting videos that go behind the scenes, behind the real story about what happens. We're a positive environment here at NaturalCures.com. There's plenty of sites for conspiracy theories and gosh knows what else. We want this to be a safe place for people to come, enjoy the experience. Nothing to buy from the site, so just enjoy the information, and we'll see you again next time. Thanks again, Doctor.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you.